Hello creative friends, this is Joy. So today I have an art journal page that I have pieces of bleeding tissue paper on that I used for the previous page. I wasn't sure what to do with these once you use them, but they're so pretty that I just decided to put them on this art journal page using some matte medium. So today I decided I was going to do something with it, and I didn't care for the white paper showing through, so I just decided to take my watercolor paints here and try to add some color to the white areas so that there wasn't the white paper showing through in between these pieces of tissue paper that I put on this art journal page. So that's what I'm doing here, just trying to go around where it was white and then using a tissue or my finger to kind of get it to blend in with what's on the page. And I really like the way that this art journal page turned out. I was debating on whether to go over it with some white gesso, thinking, well, maybe it's too bright, but I decided, you know what, I really like it. It makes me happy, so I'm just going to leave it like it is. I'm going to just like I'm doing here, just try to put some color to the white areas and then go from there. I did find a piece of paper. It's actually a piece of paper that is that's textured and has little pieces of like weeds or something in it. I'm not sure what. I decided to put on this, cover this bottom part. And it's purple, so I decided to color this part of it with the purple paint, so that way when I lay down the piece of paper that I was going to put here, then you know, if it's see-through, then you know, at least you'll see purple color through it. And here's the piece of paper that I decided to put on this page, and as you can see, it's got these little leaves and twigs and things in the paper. I'm not sure, I don't remember what they call this kind of paper, but in any case, I really thought it was pretty and it went with the page, and so I decided I would use it on this art journal page to cover that bottom portion that didn't get covered with the bleeding tissue paper. So I just used some regular craft glue, all-purpose glue, to cover the back of it, as you saw there, and put it down. And then I decided I need to put something across that top edge. And I remember I just got this lace tape recently, and I thought that was really pretty and would go with the page. So I decided to put a piece of that across the top. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but we are like having a really good rainstorm here in Florida today, and I love it when it rains in Florida. Haven't heard any thunder and lightning. Usually the rainstorms here come with a lot of thunder and lightning, but we'll see what happens. It may get kind of noisy. So here's a picture I decided to put on this art journal page, and I just grabbed my glue stick to help glue this down onto the page. And I always try to find a glue stick that says permanent. And there's one that I like to use. It's called Extreme, but these particular glue sticks, I believe I bought like a huge multi-pack one off of Amazon, and it said permanent, and they seem to work pretty good. So that's what I'm using to adhere the image of this girl down. I really like, you know, how she's got her hands up and just seems really happy. And then I found this title in my stash that I thought would go really well with this journal page. With love and laughter, anything is possible. So once I put down the elements on that page, and I had this quote I was thinking about adding, but I couldn't decide where to put it. So I kind of put it aside for now. And then I had this bird that I wanted to put on the other side. So I just grabbed my all-purpose craft glue again to cover the back of this with, and to put that down on the other the page on the other side. And I thought, I really like this bird. It looks like he's actually looking down at her, you know, like with her and their arms up. I just thought it was so cute. And then it had these like other little kind of pictures at the bottom. And there was 3 of them there, but I didn't particularly care for what was in the one picture, so I cut it off, and then I cut out a different picture that I decided I wanted to use on the page. I think it was like a picture of food or something, and I'm like, well, I kind of wanted something nature, so there's another picture in the advertisement that I got this off of that I used in that extra spot of the flowers. And then I adhered a quote that I had in my stash to the page. The quote says, "Because you are alive, everything is possible," which I thought was appropriate to go with this particular art journal page. So I'm making sure everything is adhered down good and somewhat dry. I'm a little impatient with that. And I grabbed my Stays On ink pad in ultramarine blue and decided to go around the edges of the page to kind of give it a border. And I kind of like where it leaves a little bit of scuff marks around the edge, as long as it's not too much like there. I tried to kind of wipe some of it off, and I'm trying to get into that corner, but I just can't get down there in that corner. So I grab a paintbrush so that I could pick up some of that and get it down in that corner. Now, I do not recommend that unless you use a cheap paintbrush, because it will not come out of the paintbrush. So it was not a big deal because that was a cheap paintbrush, so if it ruins the paintbrush, I have many others. Usually I just buy the big packs of paintbrushes, so when I ruin them, which I do quite often, I can toss them and it's not a big deal. So I finished doing the border around the art journal page with the Stays On ink, and then I grabbed my Posca pen to trace around my quote on this page to add like a little bit of a border around it. And I grabbed the black, but then I thought, well, maybe it would do better with the blue. So I grabbed the blue to try it, but it didn't seem like it stood out very much. And so I grabbed the black to finish the border. So that's pretty much the art journal page for today. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel to see more, or you can leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I thank you for stopping by and watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.